So
Oh,
I don't know what happened,
oh,
but
don't worry. My computer's playing up. I click on one thing and it changes to something completely different at the moment. So life is really interesting.
yeah, sometimes it surprises you. And these
Oh,
technology,
yes.
yeah,
Uh,
technology is
Technology
running.
is great when it works.
Yep, right.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, thanks so much, Harry. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye. Right, we will be going live with building structures in about 6 minutes. I hope you will enjoy it and I hope you'll join me. And hi, Yilingi. Yilingi, is that how you pronounce your name? Yilingi?
Hi, my name is
Hi.
Eileen. Yeah,
Ah, lovely. That's such a beautiful name. Is that a Chinese name or a
this is a
Japanese?
Chinese name. Yeah.
Ah, right. I teach Chinese children, so I kind of thought it might be a Chinese name. And
Oh.
whereabouts are you at the moment?
I am now in Beijing.
Uh-huh. Good.
Yeah, and I have a
Okay.
cousin in California. So I'm thinking of, oh, maybe can I have any kinds of online conversation with him? So that's why I come to your class today.
Oh, very nice indeed. Well, I hope you're going to enjoy what we're going to be doing. Today, we're working with creating and building things. So this particular one is for how to keep children busy using simple things that you have at home or simple things that you can get and keep for building. But I had just as much fun building as my grandchildren. So you can create and build, particularly if you are that way inclined. You would certainly build something like that. I do have children that I teach from all different provinces in China. A lot come from Shanghai, a lot come from Beijing, a lot come
You are teaching
from.
in VIP Kid or any other?
I teach on an English platform, teaching
Oh,
English. Mhm.
I
I
see.
teach on a platform. I teach adults and children on that platform when I'm not working for Get Set Up. So yeah, it's lovely. I've been doing it for 4 years now, and I really enjoy it.
Oh,
I'm just waiting for maybe another minute or two before I share my screen. But yes, I actually have the same time as you. My time is also midday because I'm in Perth, Australia. So my time is identical to Beijing time. So the other people who usually join the class, they are 12 hours behind us or 10 hours behind us. So it's sort of midnight for them. So it's a late night
are you
lesson for
from
them.
Australia or you are just traveling there?
No, I'm living here. I've been living here now for 3 years because my grandchildren are here and I've been helping to look after them. But I do originally come from South Africa.
Oh, I see.
So
What was the
I come from,
experience of teaching in a Get Set Up?
uh, sorry?
What's your experience of living in Australia and teaching in Get Set Up?
Awesome.
Oh,
Absolutely awesome. I've never in all my 65 years come across a company as great as this one to work for. They back you up, they work with you. It's just an amazing company. It's young, it's a year old, so it's still learning. And we've only just launched in Australia. We launched in January in Australia. So it's still very new in Australia, but it's growing throughout the world. We have people from all over the world joining us for our classes. So it really is so nice to be able to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you
okay.
and then we can start. And what is so nice is with a small class like us, we can interact and you can
Yes.
ask questions and you can hear and work out the different things that we're going to do. We're going to build simple structures, but looking at these pictures, these are anything but simple structures. They are quite amazing things that you can build purely from using gone totally blank. Using they call them popsicle sticks. I call them ice cream sticks. I'm not sure what you would call them. And then pegs, clothes pegs as well. And then you can also get the little sticks. They're also for a part of popsicle sticks, and you can build with those as well. So there are many different things you can build with and create interesting structures, something to put in your living room. You can build a structure and put it there and put a plant next to it, and then it becomes a talking point with your friends. You will then have a talking point with that. So that is also such an interesting way of doing
Are
things.
these built in your family by your grandchildren?
No, these ones are not built by us. You'll see the ones my grandchildren built. They're not as good as that, but I certainly intend building some like this because I want to put them in my living room. But I'm still in the process because I do so many different classes and I have to make so many different things. I only do a small amount for each class, and then as the classes grow, as I have it, the next time I build with another thing and another thing. Last night I was building with pegs and popsicle sticks, but for adults, and I was making the most amazing creations. That's for tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. It's all sorts of things that we can make to put in our homes just out of popsicle sticks and pegs, and that's also amazing. So you might enjoy that as well. My computer's playing up, so I'm not going into a full screen simply because it keeps popping out. I'm not sure what its problem is today. Right, so in Get Set Up, we learn from each other. Ideally, we can see you on camera because otherwise you're talking to a wall.
Actually, this is my first time to open up my camera because other people, I thought it would be weird. Oh, there is a younger woman who joined the class, not an elder one. So I'm afraid of. So
no. Have your camera. It doesn't matter. I don't
and
mind
thank you
what
so much.
age you are, that you are in class with that. You can also ask for a recording after if there's something interesting that you saw that you want to make. And the people who have joined by live stream, they are to join up because then they can interact like we are. And any product I might use, we're not paid for. It's just something I use. So I live in Perth, Australia. I've been an educator for 44 years. So I've been in teaching for a very long time, from little children, right? I think my oldest person I've taught before Get Set Up was 68 years old. So now I have all ages, and it's wonderful. I love creating and making things, and I love puzzles of any sort. It doesn't matter what kind of puzzle, I will do it. I really enjoy puzzling. I have a love of animals. That's why I do my talk on African animals and Australian animals. And I also love being a guide because I get to interact with people. So for me, it's a win-win all over. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building strong structures, tall structures, working with triangulation, and then marble runs, different types of marble runs that you can make. So let's have a look. This is my first challenge. The first challenge was to build a structure that can hold the most weight. So all I give them is clothes pegs, popsicle sticks, and I never know what you call these paper fasteners. These ones that you open up.
I also have it here somewhere.
Yeah. So those are all we use. We don't use anything else. And what you can actually do is when you have some friends over, get together with them with some sticks, some pegs, and get them to try and build a structure. You will be amazed. You will all sit around the table and each one will be different and everybody will have a reason and a thought for doing it. So you can build amazing things. My granddaughter, she decided to make the flat one. That's her building in the middle there. And I build with her always, because building on your own can get a bit boring. So I was building as well, and I decided to use triangles.
Oh.
So I built with triangles to make my top. Then you've got to work out what you're going to stand it on, because you can't lie it on the ground. That's not the idea. It's a structure, so it's got to go upwards. Now, what she wanted to do was make the longest leg she could, and it just kept collapsing. And she got so frustrated with these legs that collapsed. And then she was quite clever. She looked across and she saw what I had done.
Oh.
She didn't do exactly the same. I took 2 pegs, I joined them together with a paper fastener at the back, and I put two of these sticks, across, and that was my stand. Onto that, I then put it like
Here?
that. I
Oh,
put it.
for the third picture, it's your stand?
Yeah, the third picture. This one here. Yeah, this is the stand that I stood it on. You can see into my table. I have shelves under my glass table, and you can see them showing through. But that was my stand, and then we started to put things on it. First, we put her computer on it, and it stayed. Then we added a book or two, and it stayed. And then I said to her, right, now you complete yours. And she got going, and having had a few thoughts about looking at mine just to get an idea, she made her own version of it. And in the end, she ended up with 14 big books, and it still didn't collapse. So
wonderful.
she had built a really strong structure, and her structure was very different to mine, but it still held. So so you can have a challenge with your friends, right?
Yeah.
Who can build the strongest one? Who can build the this? Who can build the that? Design challenge number 2 is building the tallest structure and you can either give them a certain amount of popsicle sticks and pegs, or it can be a free for all. You can only use the material provided. The tower must be freestanding. It can't lean against anything. Your goal is to build the tallest freestanding tower that you can. You can't use anything else, because she wanted glue, she wanted pipe cleaners, she wanted all sorts of things, but the answer was no. And so there were many different ways. Some people made little platforms on the way up, other people just built straight. The family that he's kind of like a step grandson, he was building taller and taller, and he got and he wasn't going to do it at first. Oh no, that's babyish. So I said, okay. And the others were all building, and then he kept looking. He said, I think I'll just give it a try. I said, go for it, no problem. And with that, he started, and he actually created the tallest one, and he was very chuffed with himself. But you can see that there are all different ways of putting these together, different ways of making it stronger. And sometimes you can also tell them with building the tallest.
I've done this one.
I don't want to go into that one yet. A taller structure, freestanding, taller structure, using just popsicle sticks and your pegs, making a single height structure. And my single height structure looked like that. I'll turn it sideways so you can see.
It seems to be a two-dimension structure, not a three-dimension.
It is.
How can you make it stand?
Just your pegs at the bottom. Your pegs at the bottom are strong enough to make
that's
it
very
stand.
smart.
So you can also get that to your friends, a 2-dimensional structure, not a 3-dimensional structure. And you can set them how many pegs or whatever they can use. And then they can see with only, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, with 10 popsicle sticks, how high can you go?
Oh,
and they can see what they can make with they can add that. This is 9 at the moment, so their 10th one can go up there, and that would make the highest that they can make, and you can give them so many pegs. So again, you can set the rules as to how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
So the
Seems,
rules
yeah.
are awesome. Then another way of creating, which is really, really great fun, is to start creating with jelly tots or baby marshmallows. Your baby marshmallows, the little ones that you use for cooking, your cooking marshmallows. And these are like little baby jelly babies. And of course, everybody loves building with this because they eat one, use one, eat one, use one. If you're working with children, you give them a little bowl with some in it, and that's the eating bowl. And then they've got to use the other ones.
Finally,
Otherwise,
there is only toothpicks left and no marshmallow to build.
Oh, absolutely. And then the one little girl on the last week, she disappeared for a minute. She's 5, and she came back. She'd put it in the microwave, and now she had this gooey marshmallow thing that she was eating, and it went in her hair and it went everywhere. Oh dear, what a mess. So the idea is to start building, of course, your strongest structure. They work out which is the strongest structure. They try and make a square first because they think, okay, squares are nice and strong. I'll make a square. So we put this side, otherwise I'm not going to be able to reach it. You build squares, and then you place into your squares.
Do you make it from the top to the bottom or to the bottom to the top?
Bottom to the top. Always start with, any structure starts at the bottom and builds upwards. But now look at the square. Square's not very strong. Square's going nowhere. So how do we fix a square? We put one across the middle and we turn it into a triangle. Now it's strong. It doesn't move around at all. Now you can build tall structures. You can build a dome. Now that for adults is an absolute amazing challenge, is to build a dome shape. And you can then keep building from this. You can now add to it. You add more toothpicks. You then make your stronger and stronger structures, all working with.
We have a third friend now.
Yeah, Melinda, she's always in class. She's lovely. Right. Now, you then go to build. Hi, Melinda. Lovely to have you. Right. Now, we've got our triangles. Our triangles. Hi, Melinda. Great to have you back with us. We're building with triangles now. And what you're doing is you find that starting with a square is not, you saw just now when we started, it wobbles all over the place. Instead of using that, you work with triangles, and your triangles make it so much stronger. You'll see that the middle picture is built with squares, and it's definitely not strong enough. If they just added some triangles to it, it would become so much stronger. But if you don't have the baby marshmallows and you don't want to use jelly tots are firmer. They really work the best of all. But marshmallows work well. If you don't have the baby ones and you've got the big ones, just cut them up into small pieces. And then you've got, because we go through marshmallows very, very quickly. I think I went through 2 bags of marshmallows and 2 lots of jelly tots in an afternoon with 5 children. I don't know, more ended up in tummies than anywhere else.
Have you tried to use the Play-Dohs or something like that?
Yes, you can use Play-Dohs. Yes, you can. You can certainly use Play-Doh. But when you're creating, it's much nicer to be able to eat your creation when it's finished.
And then what about change toothpicks into spaghetti or something like that.
Spaghetti. Yeah, you can do lovely spaghetti creations. You can even use macaroni. The only problem is spaghetti cracks very easily.
Oh yeah.
So it's fine. It works, but it does break more easily. So the toothpicks are they're strong and they're easy to work. So now you build your tower. You're building the tallest structure that you can with toothpicks, marshmallows, or jelly tots. And you can't use anything else. It can't lean over again. And so you can't use any other structures. So you can build a dome or build a tower or build a pyramid. So you can actually sit around the table with your friends and build. And even now at my age, sometimes when we've got friends over for dinner, at the end, they all look at me because they know I'm always into doing weird and wonderful things. And I'll say to them, they'll say, what are we doing tonight? And I'll say, we're making this or we're doing that, or we're going to use our dessert to build first, and then we'll eat our dessert afterwards. And they always look at me and go, okay, what now? And then I set them a task, and then they started, this one's doing it this way and the other one's looking at what have you, and they make something. And then afterwards we will either use the marshmallows and put them into chocolate as a fondue. And so we use what we've got, if there's any left over, because you find people eat them along the way as we go as well. So you can certainly use what you've used for your structures afterwards. Some people wanted to take their structures home, and we're very happy to have, I used to let the children take the structures home after school. 9 times out of 10, only 1 or 2 structures actually made it home. The rest got eaten in class before they went home for the rest of the day.
Are these structures strong enough to travel to their home?
Oh yeah, you can't move this. I can't push this or bend it or twist it. It's going nowhere. They are really strong. Marshmallows are softer, but jelly tots, very strong.
Yeah, the jelly will work.
They hold it really firmly. And they sometimes, I've kept some of my structures for 6 months when I've been doing structures with, and they've just stayed as a structure. So you can really, the sky's the limit with what you can build just with jelly tots and toothpicks. So with us having started off with building our structures with our popsicle sticks and our pegs, we have now gone from strong structures to tall structures using the same equipment. And finally, now we're down to a building with a different medium. Again, building tall structures. So there are lots of things you can use to build the different things. Here was the one I was showing you earlier. The tallest structure with the fewest popsicle pegs and paper fasteners. I had 10 popsicle sticks, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pegs, and 2 paper fasteners. That's all I gave the children to use. And in fact, I only used I haven't finished. I've got 1 more peg to put in at the top here that will hold my last popsicle stick to make it really tall. I did have it, but it kind of got lost. So I'm turning it sideways just so you can see the design that goes into making it. So it's easy to store this sort of stuff. You keep it in a couple of little containers, and when something happens or somebody comes, you can have a lot of fun with it, both adults and children. Adults enjoy making these things just as much as children enjoy making them, I promise you. They have so much fun designing and making.
Yeah, this is really great. Yeah.
So there
otherwise they'll play on smartphone. So now I have something to play offline. Not
offline, absolutely offline. You can make, design, put together, and set your own challenges. I want to see how many. When we get to the last challenge, you'll enjoy that one because that's a mindset one to work with. So these structures are fun and interesting, and you can see what works best and what doesn't. Which ones are going to be able to hold things up as well as others? Is it going to tip? Is it going to fall? What happens if I put too many popsicles on one side and not on the, I don't alternate. If I alternate, it stays up. If I don't alternate, it crashes. And
Yeah.
so you are able to create, make, and build.
Yeah, it's a good way also to teach the control experience or some experiments or something like that.
Now, challenge 5 is to use triangulation, only working with triangles. Build either a dome or build a shape that becomes a conical tower, or build the Eiffel Tower. Give them the challenge. Build the Eiffel Tower. If you look at the Eiffel Tower, it's built with triangles. One of the biggest structures in South Africa was a place called the Dome.
Oh.
And it was a place where all sorts of big concerts took place. People had car shows and trade fairs and so on in there. Now, I went with the actual architect to look at how it was created. And the entire thing was built on triangles. And the biggest worry they had was the expansion and contraction of the roof. So they didn't attach the dome completely. They rested the dome on the outside structure, and they put very thick foam in between so that it could go up and down and then no cracking took place. So they thought of everything. And I went right up in the ceiling with him looking at the triangles. So triangulation is in fact the strongest way to build anything, is to build with triangles. So now you've got many different ways to be able to complete this. And so now it's your turn to come up with ideas of how you want to build this. And it's great. It's you can set, as I say, a number of you can use thick popsicle sticks, you can use thin popsicle sticks. These are the thin popsicle sticks. These ones are the much bigger popsicle sticks. You can see the difference in size.
Oh.
So, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure in Beijing you'll get them as well. I buy the box. You can buy 1,000 at $10 or $5 or whatever. And then you've got enough to be able to build a lot of very interesting structures. So I buy the pegs by the 100 and I buy the popsicle sticks by the 100. And then the children have enough because the neighbors' children see my grandchildren coming and everybody arrives to find out what we're doing today.
Oh.
So we create at least one thing every time. Now, we have got the next one we're going to do is again using your triangles. Now, starting with a simple triangle using your jelly tots or your marshmallows, you start and create different things. You can start with a square, then possibly close it up so that it's firm, or you can leave that as the base as long as the top is triangles. That will then work. And this was built by a 12-year-old last weekend. She built the one on the plate, and then she pulled it and held it like this, and the whole thing changed shape, and it became a really interesting shape. So what she thought was just very much a plain shape. By lifting it, now it all changed shape and it became almost like a sculpture. And she was delighted with her sculpture. So you can certainly build and create amazing things with your toothpicks and jelly pop tots, no matter how old you are. I still enjoy playing with my building and creating type things that we do. So think of, and you can set a particular, you can say build a star. Or particularly with adults, you can actually give them something to build, and then they've got to think of how to build it. Children, you can give free range. See what you can build. How tall can you build? How wide can you build? Can you build? My granddaughter built a swing. She made a swing. She had the two sides and one piece across the top, and then she hung some down from the middle using the jelly tots by moving them into the middle of the toothpick, and she made a little swing, and this little swing was able to swing in between her shape. So this was her base. She put a cross here and another one, and then you could swing the swing. It was so cute that she was going to make a whole playground. That was her choice, was to make a playground out of her marshmallows and her toothpicks. So you can create amazing structures this way. As I say, marshmallows are much softer. If you pick this up and held it, it keeps its shape. Pick up the marshmallows, it will definitely change shape because they are soft. So the shape will change with the softness. Let's create it quickly and see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First triangle built. Right, onto that, I can add 3 toothpicks. 1, 2, and 3. And 1 more marshmallow at the top. So now you have got your creation. It's got to get everything to go into its holder. But now this can move. This one can move around. It can flop depending on the weather, if it's hot or cold. It still holds very firmly, but not nearly as firmly as
I see.
jelly tots. They are much, you can see this one's off to an angle, and I've got to kind of push it around to get it straight, while this one automatically goes straight. So you get a more accurate creation with this. But children enjoy using both and thoroughly enjoy the munching in between.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No here. Just I have a question suddenly.
Yeah.
So how do you design, or what challenge to make, design challenge to make?
I just think about what I look around and see what I've got. I've got a bowl. Let's make a dome. Oh, I've got how about, let's see how wide we can make something, how tall. And also you do get a lot of ideas on Pinterest. There are a lot of ideas. You can also Google, or you can do it on your Bing.
Yeah.
You can just type in jelly tots and toothpicks, or marshmallows and toothpicks, and up come a whole lot of ideas of what to make and what to do. So you can, if you can't think for yourself, just Google and you'll find what you want.
Everything.
Ask Siri. We ask Siri, and Siri comes up with all the ideas. And then from there, you choose something you would really like to make. Right. Now, we've got our different marble runs. We're creating marble runs now. Now, I've left a marble run behind in the other room. Hold on while I quickly, let me get my husband to get it for me. Hold on, and let me just turn off. Thanks. It's on the top shelf. Right. Now, this is popsicle sticks. and boxes of all different sizes and shapes. There are different ways of making a marble run. You can either put your popsicle sticks going from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and just coming down very easily like that. You can also put your popsicle sticks anywhere standing upright and then drop from the top, and then they choose where they're going to go, and they go all over the place. And you can have a container at the bottom, like you can see on the bottom right hand corner. That's a really long one with cups. Bring the other trolley like this. And then you drop at the top. You can put some flat, you can put some up, and it turns. And that's no, not that, the other one. Then you are able to make it go from top to bottom, coming down with all the things that you need, and you can create. Oh, there. Thank you. It is there. I thought it wasn't there. I thought I was going mad. I've just used a very small box because this is my example.
This small one is a good example. I thought everyone should be that big, but this one is very small.
No. No. You can make small ones as well. And what I do is I draw lines on my box so that I can make sure my marble can fit through all the holes, because you don't want to put it and then find the marble gets stuck. Unless you want it to get stuck, then it's a different story. But you want it to be able to go from one end and come out at the bottom at the other end. You can also make little spaces. I've made a space in the top corner here, and I can ask them to get it to go in there. Now they've got to find it, take it into that particular spot. So this is an ideal thing to do. If you've got small children, then rather use something like M&Ms, so that if they won't swallow a marble, and if they do eat an M&M, it's not the end of the world, but that is much safer for them. But you create it with your popsicle sticks. You can create the most amazing marble runs, from big to small to any size. You can also make the little channels with 3 popsicle sticks.
This is very creative.
2 on either side, and now you've got your chute that your marble can run down. Now, this can be used as that little boy at the bottom corner, his bottom is doing, where it comes down. And he's created his own one. He's just stuck them on with press stick onto a board and created, and then found, oh, it falls off over here. So he found something else to stop it falling off. And or you can put a piece at the end so that when it lands, it doesn't fall off that end, it continues going in the other direction. They can create the most amazing marble runs just using their popsicle sticks and a marble or an M&M or something like that. Anything that's round, they can use. And you can create a whole, almost like a gymnasium. You can have it going up and down and round, depending on the age. They can create amazing ones. You can also create a more difficult one where you've got holes in the bottom of the box. Now, what they do is they get themselves going, and if they think it's going to fall in the hole, their hand has to go and find that hole. Now they've got to be able to work out underneath where the hole is, put their finger over the hole, now it'll go over that. Or they've got to find a way around the hole without it falling through the hole. So there are a variety of things you can do with that as well. That is a really big challenge, and they really enjoy it too. So these are all simple marble runs that are made just with your popsicle sticks. You can create amazing ones. And so it's such fun. They really love playing with them. When my grandchildren come, they'll go into my room and I find all sorts of things that are brought out for them to play with for a while. And then when they finish playing, they will then come and not always put them back, but they find different ones that they want to play with on different days, and they're all different ages. Sometimes I close the door, and if the door's closed, they know, not today, you're not going in Granny's craft room, because there's all sorts of things that are being built at that time, and they're in different stages. Now, where am I? That one. Now, this is another form of marble run. Now, again, this can become an adult thing to do.
Oh, it seems to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, roller coasters. Now we've got roller coasters. And we are busy building. You build with roller towels, toilet rolls, and paper plates or plastic plates, whichever you happen to have. And this you build and you make. The simple ones are made with the little ones. They make it just with two standing up and a pole coming through. But as you work with older children or with adults, you can create the most awesome roller coasters or marble runs. They are marble runs, but you could use it as a roller coaster too. And so they come up with such creative ideas. This on a rainy afternoon with any age is an amazing thing to do. Just put all the rolls out. If you're worried about toilet rolls, which some people are, you just collect them all, turn the oven on to the lowest heat you possibly can, and roast them for 20 minutes in this very, very low heat in the oven. They are sanitized 100%. You don't have to worry about them. You can also spray them with sprays, but that for me is the easiest and quickest way. I stand them all up on a baking tray, stick them in the oven, and after 20 minutes, take them out, and they're all clean and sanitized and done.
Safe, yeah.
So, because if you're worried about where they've come from. So you could give them different things they can use. They can maybe have tape, or you can decide, or the sky's the limit. You just put out anything you've got and people start to build. I mean, that one with paper plates, that helter-skelter that goes down, is so simple and yet so ingenious, and you can create amazing designs. And then you can have a competition. Who did the most creative idea? Who did the longest run? Who did the run with the most difficulty? And so you can talk about each of the different runs and how they were made, what they were made. And I can tell you, I've had adults building late into the night, just building these creations together. And sometimes they collaborate. There are two of them working together. One's holding, one's gluing, one's doing. Or if they're building on their own, they get their friend to hold for a second while I just glue this or while I just stick that. And so you are able to create amazing marble runs. So all ages are able to do it. From the littlies, which is the one at the bottom left-hand corner, that's a little one. He's painted his poles, blues and reds and yellows, and he's made his cut his toilet roll in half, and those are the little pieces coming down. Very simple, very easy, but so exciting when you've made it yourself. So really such fun to do. You can stick it onto the table if you want to, because you can just take it off the table. You can put it onto some card if you want to. You just have out whatever, or you tell people to bring some cardboard, bring some toilet rolls, bring some popsicle sticks. We're building today.
Yeah,
and
bring anything they have.
Yeah, and they'll go, what? But once they start, they don't want to stop, no matter what age. Now, the last of our anything goes. This is our anything goes. You can build with, you can use corks, you can use bottle tops, you can use milk cartons, you can use straws, you can use silver paper, your tin foil, you can use all your old plastic containers that you've got, egg boxes. Anything goes to build your creation.
Yeah.
And with this, such fun. Old pieces of piping, U-bends, if dad's a plumber, the U-bends dad's got in his garage, whatever. So you can now create amazing, really amazing marble runs. And so really there is so much creativity. People spend so much time on their phone, tick, 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 ticking, that it's so good to get people to think for themselves and not be on that screen, and just enjoy and interact with others, and have conversations of, oh, how did you manage that? And wow, I never thought of something like that. But in the meantime, while you're building, they're chatting about all kinds of things. My grandchildren tell me things that have happened at school that when I ask them, how was school? I get fine. That's it. But if we're creating and I ask the same question, suddenly the floodgates are open and I hear all about what went on and who did this, and I get the whole day. But because I asked it at the right moment, I asked it at the time when the guard was down and they were quite happy to let me hear about everything.
Yeah.
Any questions, Melinda? Any questions, Yeling?
No questions, but I can vision in my mind all the things happening so creatively and naturally, and then everyone's so happy. And then although I haven't done this now, but I feel it'll happen later somewhere, sometime.
Even in the dorm room, if you're in the dorm and everybody's been studying for a while and now they actually need a break, you say, right, a half an hour break, we've got something to do. Let your brain relax for half an hour. Okay, everybody back to studying. You'll find, just things like that. You just make a break time. Otherwise, people just keep going in their way that they are going, and they don't give they don't give their brain a rest. And your brain, although it's working to build this, it's a different kind to studying. So therefore your brain has that downtime, and when you go back to studying, it's ready to take in all the new stuff instead of taking it in slower. So it's just such fun to do. Melinda, have you got any comments? Not today. Okay. Sometimes. Right. If you've got any feedback, I will send you the link. You can feedback on that. If you've got any ideas, always put them down, because new ideas are always awesome. You can get a copy of the recording at helpitgetsetup.io. And you are also, there are lots of other creative things to do. We've got toilet rolls where we build for adults with toilet rolls, science, simple science with kids, creative ideas with pigs, and sucker sticks, which is popsicles. I'm doing the adult one tomorrow morning, as I say.
So these 4 classes are all yours?
Yeah, I do 18 different classes. In fact, 19 different classes.
Okay.
I teach 19 different classes during the week. So yeah, I have a variety, and that's nice because then I don't get bored and other people don't get bored either.
Yes.
So yeah, I try and introduce 2 or 3 new classes every month to what I'm doing, so that there is a lovely variety of things to do. So great. Thank you. I'll stop sharing now. And great to have you in class with me. If there are no more questions, have a great rest of the day. And Melinda, have a great evening. Time to go to bed now. And I look forward to seeing you again in another class, hopefully.
Thank you so much.
It's a
nice talking to
pleasure.
you.
Lovely to talk to you as well. Thank you.